Have you ever noticed how one tiny problem can completely ruin your entire day? A single text message, a small mistake, someone giving you a weird look, a minor inconvenience, and suddenly your brain reacts like the world is falling apart. Your mood changes, your thoughts spiral, you overthink everything. And deep down, even you know the problem is small, but your mind refuses to let it go. So why does this happen? Why does your brain sometimes turn tiny problems into massive emotional disasters? In this video, you are going to discover the real psychology behind emotional overreactions, why your brain gets triggered so easily, and, most importantly, how to stop small problems from controlling your emotions. And make sure you stay until the end, because the final reason is the one secretly controlling most people's lives without them even realizing it. If you miss it, you may keep reacting the same way again and again. Let's begin. Imagine this. You wake up feeling okay. Then suddenly, someone replies to your message with only one word. Okay. That's it. Nothing dramatic. But your brain instantly starts creating stories. Are they mad at me? Did I say something wrong? Why are they acting cold? Within seconds, your mood changes completely. Now here's the scary part. The problem was never the message itself. The real problem was the meaning your brain attached to it. And this is where everything starts. Your brain is not reacting to reality. It is reacting to interpretation. That means two people can experience the exact same situation and feel completely different emotions. One person laughs it off. The other overthinks it for hours. Why? Because the brain constantly tries to predict danger, rejection, embarrassment, or emotional pain. It is a survival machine, and sometimes it becomes too sensitive. Thousands of years ago, overreacting actually helped humans survive. If early humans ignored danger, they died. So the brain evolved to notice problems quickly. The issue is that your brain still uses that ancient survival system today, but now, instead of wild animals or physical threats, it reacts to emails, text messages, social situations, small mistakes, and awkward moments. To your brain, emotional discomfort can feel like danger. That is why tiny problems sometimes feel huge. Now here is something even more interesting. Your brain does not just react to events, it reacts to uncertainty. This is why unanswered messages feel stressful, why waiting for results feels painful, why unclear situations make your mind spiral. Because the human brain hates not knowing. Uncertainty creates tension, and when your brain cannot find answers, it creates its own, usually negative ones. That is why overthinking grows so fast. Your brain fills empty spaces with fear. Now think about this. Have you ever dropped something, made a small mistake, or forgot one simple thing and suddenly became incredibly angry at yourself? That reaction usually has nothing to do with the actual mistake. Most emotional overreactions are connected to hidden stress already sitting inside the mind. It is like shaking a bottle full of pressure. The smallest thing makes it explode. This is why people who are mentally exhausted often react strongly to tiny problems, not because they are weak, but because their emotional system is overloaded. And honestly, modern life keeps the brain overloaded almost constantly. Notifications, noise, pressure, comparison, bad sleep, endless information. Your nervous system rarely gets true rest anymore. So when one small problem appears, your brain reacts like it is the final straw. Now let's talk about something powerful: memory. Your brain remembers emotional pain more strongly than neutral experiences. That means if you were criticized a lot in the past, ignored, embarrassed, rejected, your brain becomes extra alert to anything that feels similar. Even tiny situations can trigger old emotional patterns. For example, someone cancels plans. To one person, it is no big deal, but to another person, it subconsciously feels like rejection. Not because the situation is dangerous, but because the brain connects it to past emotional experiences. This is why emotional reactions often feel bigger than the current moment. Sometimes your brain is reacting to the past without you realizing it. Now, here is one of the biggest reasons people overreact: mental storytelling. The brain loves creating stories, and unfortunately, it usually creates worst-case scenarios first. A friend seems quiet? They must be upset with me. You make one mistake at work? I'm going to fail completely. Someone looks at you strangely? They probably think I'm weird. Notice what is happening? The brain jumps from small events to massive conclusions almost instantly. And the more emotional you become, the more believable those stories feel. That is why emotions can distort reality. When you are anxious, neutral situations feel threatening. When you are insecure, small criticism feels massive. When you are stressed, tiny inconveniences feel unbearable. Your emotional state changes how you see the world. Now here's the good news. Your brain can be trained to stop overreacting. But first, you need awareness. Because most people react automatically. Something happens, emotion appears, and they instantly believe every thought in their head. But thoughts are not always facts. Just because your brain says something feels dangerous does not mean it actually is. This changes everything. The moment you pause and observe your reaction instead of instantly obeying it, you regain control. And one of the fastest ways to calm an overreacting brain is surprisingly simple. Slow down your body first. Take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Because when the body calms down, the brain slowly follows. Remember this: your nervous system and thoughts are connected. A tense body creates a tense mind. Now let's talk about another hidden reason your brain overreacts: control. Humans love feeling in control. But life is unpredictable. People change, plans fail, unexpected things happen constantly. And when reality does not match what your brain expected, frustration appears. That frustration quickly turns into emotional reactions. But emotionally strong people understand something important. Not everything deserves emotional energy. That tiny mistake? Not worth destroying your peace. That awkward moment? Most people already forgot it. That small inconvenience? Temporary. The more perspective you build, the calmer your mind becomes. And now we arrive at the final reason: identity. This one is powerful. Sometimes small problems hurt so much because your brain connects them to your self-worth. A small failure suddenly feels like, I'm not good enough. A rejection feels like, nobody values me. A mistake feels like, I always ruin things. Notice how the brain turns events into identity? That is why the reaction becomes emotional. You are not just reacting to the situation anymore. You are reacting to what it means about you. And this is exactly where healing begins. Because you can learn to separate events from identity. Making a mistake does not make you a failure. Being rejected does not make you worthless. Having a bad moment does not mean you have a bad life. Once you stop attaching every small problem to your identity, your emotional reactions become lighter, calmer, healthier. So here is the truth. Your brain overreacts to small problems because it is trying to protect you. It reacts to uncertainty, past pain, stress, fear, and imagined danger. But now you understand what is happening behind the scenes. That means you are no longer controlled by it automatically. The next time your mind starts turning a tiny problem into a catastrophe, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, is this situation truly dangerous, or is my brain just reacting emotionally? That one question can completely change your life. Because real emotional strength is not about never feeling emotions. It is about learning not to let every small problem control your peace. And once you master that, your mind becomes quieter, your reactions become calmer, and life suddenly feels much lighter.